Welcome to chapter 2 of the book Alive for a Purpose discussion online. And chapter 2 is entitled Purpose Pictured. Purpose Pictured. What do I mean by this as an author when I was writing this chapter? This chapter also forms the foundational stages. I spoke to you about chapter 1, and today we're looking at the foundational stages again in chapter 2. The reason why I call this chapter Purpose Pictured is to help us not only to talk about purpose, but to get all of us to begin to imagine purpose. Because there is power in our imagination. The fundamental aim in this chapter is to create a perfect picture in your mind as to what purpose is and not about, and also to challenge you in your calling, because the human mind thinks in pictures. We are visual people living in a visual age. And if you know, fiction gives life its form. As we are discussing these, and as you are holding this book in your hands, I want you to begin to identify some key people in your life. Those you can identify that they are fulfilling the purpose of God for their lives. Those who are touching this world, and begin to imagine how they are able to do it. And in the power of your imagination, you will discover the purpose of God for your life. So this chapter is very simple. In this chapter, I talk about 4 different kinds of people, not in a past generation, but in our present generation right now. Some of them you know them, some of them you can research more about them. And if these key people were either able to fulfill or fail in their purpose, then they serve as a prototype to also help you to fulfill and shape your purpose. This chapter, you will discover, comes with a lot of stories of men and women. And I believe that when I look into the life of Jesus, it helped me to write this chapter, because Jesus always spoke in parables. Jesus always used stories so that people could have an understanding and a picture what he was trying to teach. And as long as you can picture what Jesus taught, you could get what Jesus was trying to put across. And in the same way, this chapter is more on life stories, so that you can have this idea in your mind that what I'm trying to teach you in this book is not a facade, but that it is a reality. The first character chapter 2 talks about, to help you to picture purpose, is my own uncle. Will you believe it? My uncle was paralyzed for 6 years and he died. For the rest of the story, I just want you to go get the book and understand. But when you read my uncle's story, one of the key lessons that you will learn is that life without purpose is like your body without a functioning spinal cord. I say it again. Life without purpose is like your whole body functioning without a spinal cord. Purpose is like your spinal cord, and I want you to picture it. If your spinal cord is not functioning, you end up in a wheelchair. And as serious as this is what purpose is. And there is something in my uncle's story that I want you to get this book, read about this story, and let's learn something out of it. I can't share all the stories here because of space and because of time. But that's the first lesson that I want you to learn. The second person, or the second character I talk about in this book is a lady, a 25-year-old lady called Jessica Cox. Determined Jessica Cox, as she's called, is a 25-year-old born with a generic effect, meaning she was born without arms. For most of us, this woman constitutes a person that has no purpose. And even if we are talking about purpose, we must forget about people of this state. But to our amazement, this lady has not just moved on to graduate to get a degree. She's a double black belt in karate. And she is the first woman who has flown an aeroplane in her condition and in her state. This lady's life challenges me, and I believe that as we are trying to define purpose, we can't define purpose by just writing and talking about it. I want you to picture such a life. No arms, no legs, but look at what she is fulfilling in her life. I speak to those who have arms and legs and yet think that they can do nothing with their lives. If only you can release and move away the if only clauses in your life. If you can begin to see things that you have and not the things that you don't have, you understand what this purpose really means. There's something that Jessica says. Jessica says that she never say, I can't do that or I can't do this. I just say I have not worked it out yet. I wanted to just get this book, and there's a lot about this lady that I want you to read again. Her story is so challenging that it will begin to shape your life, and it begin to shape your destiny, and it will begin to push you to greater heights and greater destinies as we talk about the purpose of God for our lives. If you are watching me today, I want you to be moved. One of the most important chapters, I won't lie to you, is this chapter that I've written. It so much empowers me myself. It so much pushes me to define my purpose and begin to walk with my purpose. Life is a mystery, and purpose is a mystery, but it is not a mystery without direction. You may have a means of living, but you have a meaning to live for. As we define, purpose is my meaning to live for. It is not my means of living. As I'm teaching this book, one thing that you need to understand is that I'm not talking about means of living. I'm talking about the meaning to live for. They are two different things. A lot of people in our generation today have means of living, but we lack a meaning to live for. I end with this quote from chapter 32, page 32 of the book A Life for a Purpose. It says that if a man spends his precious time and energy wisely through purpose, he will live an organized life. Let other things begin to matter to you. Patience, endurance, tolerance, self-control, steadfastness, sensitivity, love, and joy. The Bible says above all these, there is nothing else. God bless you for listening to us. Stay with us in chapter 3 and the rest of us and the rest of the chapters that we are trying to discuss. Get the book A Life for a Purpose online. Get it on your phone. Get it on your iPad. Call your friends and your sisters abroad to also get it. Call the whole family to come together. Watch these podcasts. Answer some of these questions. And I believe that members of our team will get back to you, especially those who are tackling some of the questions that we try to help you develop yourself and identify the purpose of God for your life. God bless you. Bye.